We're about to have a very Canadian experience here. We're going to go car fishing today. It's a whopping, 28 degrees Fahrenheit here right now. And it is freezing, and the wind is directly from the north. So let me get you guys set up. I wasn't planning on doing this, so sorry I'm not as prepared as I should be. There we go. Trying to jam the tripod up against the rear view mirror. There we go. Now, I don't know if I'm able to flip this camera around at will here. Oh, it's going to be like that, is it? Oh, there we go. I am going fishing, James. We are going to rock some Canadian style below zero car fishing today. Prospector Jason E. Miner's in the house. Mama Bird's in the house. Troubled One is in the house. Good to see you. I saw Careless earlier. James Crisp. I will not drive the caddy into the water. So you'll see me today popping kind of in and out of the car. We're going to get the lines out. I got everything all rigged up. The minnow bucket's outside. But at least this way you guys don't have to. We'll still see the beautiful sunset, but we won't have to put up with the noisy geese and the wind. It wasn't necessarily the cold for me having a live. It was more trying to deal with this wind. Can you guys hear me okay? I just want to make sure the phone's in the tripod correctly. Awesome. Thanks, Mega Dog. So you guys give me about 5 minutes. I'm going to go head outside because we're not catching bug or anything without the lines in the water. And hopefully this wind dies down as the sun starts to set and I could take it back outside. But for now, we'll just hang this way because you guys wouldn't be able to hear a thing outside except wind and geese, and it'd make for a really annoying live stream. So I'll be right back with you guys. Hey, the real life is in the house. Good to see you, Wally. Good to see you as well. I'm going to hop out and get those lines in the water. Be right back, guys. Good times, good times. All right. Hey, GP, good to see you, pal. It's one of them car fishing days. She is cold out there. Cold doesn't bother me, like I said, but the wind is absolutely nuts. Of course, my chat is freezing on me, of course, at the worst possible times. John R. is in the house. What's up, John? We are car fishing today. Marvin is in the house. Hey, Julie, good to see you. Oh, do whatever you got to do, Julie. Justin's lucky he's probably outside. We'll probably head out too. When this wind dies down, when the sun starts to set, the wind will die down and it won't be so bad. Karen, good to see you, Karen. Nice in the car, though. Nice to get out of that damn wind. So how's everybody doing today? What's up on this awesome Sunday? All my American friends getting ready to stuff their faces on Thanksgiving? Hey, Josh, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. GP. Yeah, something like that. I do have a nice coffee going, but I wish I was outside. The wind is unbearable right now. Like sound-wise, you wouldn't even be able to hear me talk. Hey, Steve, Aqua, good to see you guys. The sun has some heat to it. It's nice and warm coming through the windshield. Kind of sucks in this wind, too. If they tap the line, I can't really... Oh, they're out there, Wally. The bubbles are out there. I think they'd frown on me putting dish soap in the lake. That is a Cadillac, Steve. So, James, it would. I've got bell sinkers out on these lines to keep everything down where it belongs. But you can kind of see the rod tips moving, and that's from the waves hitting the line. So I will have to go out and check every once in a while, because what it'll do is it blows it into the weeds and tangles it all up. And that's when the bullheads come in and they end up stripping off all your minnows. Hey, good for you, GP. That's awesome. Awesome, pal. I got a doe the other day as well. I got that 8-point buck that I got, and I got a doe on Thursday. So I've only got the one more tag left, but the freezer's full, and I don't say I don't need it, because obviously I would eat it and be gone by next hunting season, but we'll see. I've still got a week of muzzleloader left to go, so I might head out as well. Vike is in the house. Good to see you, Vike, fishing. It's kind of funny. Obviously, you guys can't see, but I got you guys set up on a tripod, and you're wound up and propped up against the rearview mirror of the car, so the tripod doesn't fall over. Kind of riding the center console of the caddy. Yeah, I love muzzleloader hunting, GP. It's actually my favorite. And of all the hunt, I think it's actually my favorite. Big boys have stopped by then. The big boys have stopped chasing the ladies around for the most part, and they're hungry, and we get them headed out to the cornfields and the apples and stuff, or what's left of the apples, anyways. We're not supposed to get snow, Steve, until Thursday. But you never know. It is coming, that's for sure. Yeah, Trouble, when they have a different season for muzzleloader, it's a lot more of a, well, I don't want to say a lot more, but it's a more difficult hunt. And you only get one shot from a muzzleloader, whereas, like, say, a rifle, you'll have multiple shots. It's a harder hunt. I like it. I mean, I have obviously my place to myself, but I like it because there's less people in the woods too. David's in the house. Good to see you, David D. Bob is in the house. Anything? We are Cadillac fishing today. The wind out there, I don't know how it is down in PA, but man, the wind is just stupid here. Not as bad now, but there was whitecaps out on the lake earlier, and this is a pretty small lake to be having whitecaps on. And the wind is whipping the fishing poles around like spaghetti noodles. It's nuts. And I checked that left rod. It is going pretty crazy. I'm going to bring the minnow in on the left rod and toss it more out the front so it's not acting so nuts all the time. I'm going to be right back, guys. Let me check that line and toss that back out. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Fishing today's not the smartest thing I've ever done. I'll also be honest and tell you it's not the dumbest thing I've ever done. Don't know what the forecast. I'll be fishing again tomorrow morning. I don't know what the forecast is, but it can't get, I don't want to say it, but it can't get too much worse than this. I guess they could add some rain to the mix would be great. Yeah, you didn't put Miracle Whip on anything, Bob. So really, I'd like to be using bobber rigs right now, but there's no way I could wing a bobber out there in this wind. John, you strike me as a Mayo guy. You're not one of those Miracle Whip types, are you? Attaboy, John. I knew you were a stand-up guy. Camels in Texas. I think I'm going to give Karen the random comment award that I just kind of out of nowhere. I just learned that they once had camels in Texas. Cool. There you go. GP likes the Dukes. That seems like a Southern thing. We don't have Dukes here, so I've never tried it. I did look it up out of curiosity on Amazon, but I am not paying $18 for a jar of mayo. I have a hard enough time paying $8 for a container of night crawlers, let alone $18 for a jar of mayo. Big gulps, eh? Nice. Alrighty. That's actually one of my favorite parts in Dumb and Dumber, when he comes out of the store with the cowboy hat and the case of beer and the bolo bat, and he's swinging everything around. Just get the necessities. You know what, Trouble One? I actually agree with you. I like mayo on my fries. I won't go out of my way to make myself a plate of fries with mayo on it or with it. But if I'm eating something like a club sandwich with the fries that has mayo, I may or may not dip. The joys of having kids, Bob. I was laughing. I was on watching Anyfin's live the other day, and he mentioned giving his son $5 to go into the convenience store and pick out whatever he wanted. And I remember I'm always the poor bugger that gets caught in line behind that kid. Like, how much can I buy with this? Or do I have enough left for this? And then the kid's got to run back. And gravy on fries is solid, David. You keep calling them in, Wally. We'll see. See what happens. I'm really honestly hoping that this wind dies down and I can head back outside and you guys will be able to hear me. I do have my mic with me. And I'm really hoping that the wind dies down enough we can use a bobber. But that's kind of wishful thinking right now. Oh, I'm blind here. Lewis, good to see you, pal. Let me get you a wrench if I can. I apologize, guys. I'm trying my best to read, but the sun's kind of right in my face, but we'll power through it. There we go, Lewis. Feel free to connect around. Some great channels in here. Just good, solid people. KC Masterpiece is actually pretty good. I do like Sweet Baby Ray's as well. And I make my own homemade barbecue sauce with maple syrup and bacon and whiskey. Joseph Knowlton in the house. How's it going, Josephus? Good to see you, pal. Yeah, Troubled One. You also think Pizza Hut is gourmet food and Tyson chicken nuggets are your favorite. So we'll just take that with a grain of salt, buddy. Yeah, it is, Mama. The only problem with when I make it is it's not so it has, bacon, a little bit of bacon grease and bacon bits for smoky flavor in it, and the maple syrup and and all the stuff that goes into like a regular barbecue sauce. But with the bacon stuff in it, it doesn't preserve very well. So you kind of got to make it as a batch when you're going to, and eat it like within the week, which normally isn't a problem anyways, but. Hope everything's okay, Prairie. Great. Glad you swung by at least. I would absolutely believe you, Trouble One, if you said you were eating Tyson chicken nuggets at this very moment. That does not surprise me one bit, pal. PA Couples in the house. Good to see you, pal. We are, at least for now, car fishing in a crazy wind. But it does look, if I'm looking at the horizon, it does look like we're going to get a real beautiful sunset this afternoon, which is awesome. Yeah, 23 miles an hour, Lewis. It was around, I think it was, we checked the weather. I was on another live where they had that Nightbot thing where you could check your weather. And they said it was 18 miles an hour, but it's the, obviously it's the gusts that kill you. But I consider myself very privileged and very lucky to have this spot where I could pull the car up. There's not a day that goes by that if I want to fish, I can't fish just because I have this spot. There's not too many places where you can pull your car right up to the lake. It'd be about 10 feet away from your rods at all times. Oh, no, Tio. I don't know what's more sad, the fact that you lost your chicken nuggets or the fact that you're actually going to eat Arby's. It is absolutely a Cadillac hood ornament. So I typically drive a truck. This is actually my dad's car. And my, dad's getting on in age. And, he and my mom, they have a little, well, they call it my mom's car. They've got a little, one of those Kia, little tiny, I don't know what you want to call it, little rice burner car. And they drive that everywhere. And Dad never uses this thing anymore. And he keeps bringing it over or telling me, I borrowed it because I put new tires on the truck. And he keeps telling me, well, it's not good for it to sit. Take it for a spin. Take it out for a run. And I took it out one day and I put all my fishing junk in the back. And I mean, these things have a massive, massive trunk on them, right? So I've got like 6 fishing rods, my minnow pail, a tackle box, and still lots of room in there. And I just never took it out. So I've been taking this thing fishing ever since. Arby's is gross, man. It's an older one, Steve. I think it's a 2005. I could be mistaken. But it was one of those like ahead of its time vehicles, right? So it's got, all the seats are heated but it does have a cassette deck in it, so it's got that going for it. Hey, Yogi, good to see you, my friend. Hope your live went well. You have an 07. Yeah, I'm not sure what year this is, to be honest with you. It's a good car. I mean, it's a hell of a nice ride, that's for sure. a little too nice. Like if you drive this thing, if you're heading home from fishing all day, and I drive this thing, you could fall asleep in it pretty easily. It just coasts and floats everywhere it goes. I have never, John, in my life seen a Prius with a hood ornament. Or one this size. Yeah, look. We're riding in style here. Look at this. Leather seats. Leather heated seats. Cassette player. CD player. Won't find a cassette player in any Prius I know of. It's absolutely pimping. I should get out of this thing like Kramer there from Seinfeld when he had the coat of many colors and the big cane and hat. The cassette player, John. Remind me to send you an email. I'll explain to you what a cassette player is. If you do end up buying a cassette player, just make sure you have a pencil handy. That's all I'm going to say. RMP Brad's in the house. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you, Brad. I haven't seen an 8-track for years. You always see them at the flea market with people selling stuff. See, 45s made a comeback, but cassettes never did. I don't know why that is. '45s were like the original format that let you just skip ahead to the song you want. You had to just look for the grooves in the record and count how many songs in you wanted, and then you could just go ahead and dial it in. I think the cassettes are too flimsy. Oh, yeah, they didn't last forever. And bits of them would get like scrambled and warped, and you'd be missing half a song. I remember just before CDs really became popular, they had those little singles cassettes that had a really good song on one side and a really crappy song on the other, and they came in that paper sleeve. Those things were awesome. Still has hundreds of cassettes. I had some, and I got rid of them all. I even had those fancy leather suitcases with the cassette slots in them. When we were kings, PA. When we were kings. Got the suitcase? That's awesome. Every once in a while, you'll go to like a flea market or a yard sale. I love flea markets. And you'll go and some guy will have that booth set up that he's got loads of 8-tracks and cassettes and stuff. Have a good one, John R. Don't work too hard, buddy. Fine-tuning the rabbit ears. I had it worse. We didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up, so we didn't have cable. And I lived on the border, and I wanted to get the American stations because they had all the cartoons on them. So, man, it was hard to get those. And I watched a lot of blurry, fuzzy cartoons in my day. I would say both, Joseph, as long as you've got no further questions. Probably lots of actual fleas at the flea market, if I was to hazard a guess. Same, Lewis. Same. Even when we upgraded to the color TV, we had our first color TV was the great big floor model unit with the TV screen itself only took up about 50% of the unit, and the rest was all wood and dials and stuff. And yeah, as kids, we had the old black and white TV with the VHF and UHF signal. You had the rabbit ears on the top, remember, and you had the round loopy antenna in the back for UHF that really didn't have much of any channels going for it. So I'm not sure what that was all about, but yeah, it was like the size of a dresser. It was about waist high with a great big top on it. That's Gold is in the house. My good buddy from down under. Good to see you, pal. Hope things are good for you, Frosty. You guys are just getting into your, getting close to your summer season, I believe, down there. We are most definitely headed the other way. It is a nice view, and it's only going to get better, Jason. So by tonight, it is supposed to be a nice day tomorrow, so by around 4:30, that whole back sky is going to turn pink. Be gorgeous. And we are getting close to the best time of the day for fish to bite, so you never know. We'll see what we pull in. Hey, Andrew. Good to see you, pal. Glad you could make it in. As you can see, we are fishing in style from the front seat of a Cadillac today. Ooh, That's a little creepy, GP. Your TV pulling a poltergeist on you and turning on by itself. Yeah, Brockton, I've seen some of the stuff he makes, stickers and stuff like that. Some pretty cool stuff. The clapper. Remember when the clapper came out one year, my grandparents were getting really old. And then for Christmas, I bought them the clapper. And my grandfather was kind of a crabby old guy. And they had a little yappy schnauzer dog. And he used to get excited at the dog. And, hey, he'd be yelling at him. He'd start clapping his hands and all the lights in the house would shut on and off. It was kind of crazy. Kenneth, welcome, buddy. I think everyone who's old enough remembers the jingle for the clapper, but I am not going to sing it for you. Brockton, how's it going, pal? Geez, somebody mentioned him and he just shows up out of nowhere. You're welcome, Jason. My pleasure to not sing anything for you. I do, however, have the voice of an angel. A tone-deaf angel, but an angel nonetheless. That's it, Barry. And welcome, buddy. Didn't see you sneak in there. Nice little live you did with the little walk this morning and being thankful for things. I appreciated that. Man, look at that wind. Woo. Steve, mental health is where you find it, my friend. One of the best things, in my opinion, for mental health is laughter. And fishing. You got that right, Karen. The outside. Music does help too, Barry. Funny thing about music and mental health is you don't have to listen. It doesn't mean that you have to listen to happy music either. Nothing wrong with a nice campfire and a good beer either. Anything outdoors, to be honest with you. Me too, Lewis. Even when I don't have time to go fishing, that was one of the best parts for me. I mean, for the last maybe 20 years or so, I've had dogs, right? So I was never one to just want to go out and take a walk, but ever since I got dogs and I have to walk them, I have to say that I really, really enjoy it. Especially now I've got a beagle, so he likes to sniff everything, so it makes your walk really slow and just let him kind of sniff around. It just forces you to get outside. Even on a crappy day, if you go out for 10 minutes, just that fresh air makes a whole world of difference. Grandma Kelly's in the house. I think I see a hi, Grandma. So, hey, Kelly. A little bit of difficulty reading chat with the sun directly in my face, but pay dirt, Brockton, and goat panning in general is very relaxing. And people go out and they buy these, and I've done them as well. I've seen a lot of people go out and buy these challenge pay dirts, the heavy black sand pay dirts and stuff. And I actually enjoy them, but I don't get stressed over them. Like I see some people getting stressed over it, which to me kind of defeats the purpose of pay dirt. I wouldn't pay money to get stressed personally, but that's just my opinion. Oh, Grandma Jay's not Grandma Kelly. Okay. Here, Grandma Jay, let me get you a wrench. Grandma Jay and I just recently became friends here, so I was thinking of a different grandma at the time. All right, legends, it's time for me to go out and do a wind check and make sure that those minnows are still minnowing. I'll be right back, guys. That is nuts out there. Holy smokes. There's an island to the left of me here. Just out, I don't know, maybe 20 yards out into the lake. And it's got 2 flagpoles on it, and the flags are absolutely straight out. Yeah, it is PA. I was going to get, I know Anyfin's got those, got one of those pop-up shelters, and I still might get one. But it is actually too windy for one of those today. I don't think I'd be able to get it up without it blowing over or blowing away. Or turning old ATC here into a kite. Yeah, the wind's crazy, man. And that's one thing that I don't like about the wind, because I love to watch my rod tips. Like right now, that left rod is going absolutely nuts, but that's just the wind and the waves hitting the line, because it's I've got it tightened up. I like to watch my rod tips for those small nibbles, but you'll never see it in this right now. Doug, man, I haven't seen you in ages. Good to see you, pal. Give you a wrench so you can have a look around, pal. All things Canadian, yeah, something like that. Even the geese can't be bothered swimming or going out and rafting out in the river today. Or the lake today. It's just too choppy. I'm back, baby. We were actually just talking about Seinfeld earlier. They were saying that I was pimping here in the Cadillac. I was mentioning that episode where Kramer had the coat of many colors there and got out of the Cadillac. And then got arrested because they thought he was a pimp. John Bob. Yeah. Well, I'm 6 foot 220, so it's not exactly going to throw me around, but trying to set up a shelter, which is with poles, which is essentially, before you get it set up with the pegs and everything, a giant kite, wouldn't help. Hey, freaking awesome's in the house. Good to see you, pal. Yeah, Steve, I think Seinfeld's got to be one of the best shows ever made. I think it always stands this time because it is literally a show about nothing, right? $60 mph wind, that's crazy. $3. Woo. Yeah, the wind's not taking you anywhere. Everything in life has its benefits. ferry is canceled. Yeah, I could imagine in 60-mile-an-hour gusts they wouldn't want to run a ferry. That makes sense. All right, Lewis, take your time. We'll be here. We typically fish till dark anyways. I am glad I didn't try to do this with the tripod or the camera outside. There's not a chance I'd be able to read chat or a chance that you'd be able to hear me in that wind out there. Of course, I don't know if anybody picked up on it, but when I went out there to check the minnows, the wind instantly picked up, which, figures. John Bob, those things are hilarious. We have them here. We have like our beer and wine that they've started moving beer and stuff to the grocery stores and convenience stores, but wine and liquor are only sold in liquor stores. And just like those gas stations, every time you leave, they got that ticker tape on the side to, in case you rob the place, they'll be able to say how tall you are by looking at the cameras on your way out. There's been a lot of that going around, Mama Bird. Like we've all heard the complaints on YouTube. It hasn't happened to me yet, but Careless couldn't comment on any of my videos or Aaron's videos for that matter. They really need to kind of get their stuff together. Have a good one, Tio. Yeah, Mama, that's just kind of the way it goes. We all go through it. A lot of that is like from connecting with people on live streams. And I understand why YouTube does that, because back in the day, and I'm talking, 3-4 years ago, there was a lot of these channels where you'd go and it was just sub for sub and people exchanging subs, and they never watch anybody's content and stuff like that. It does get frustrating. And the thing that kind of ticks me off is like, say, I'm sub to you, but say I wasn't sub to you. and I meet you here on a live stream, and I want to go over to your channel and connect, and not, I may not have time to go back and watch, your library of videos, but maybe the next time you post one or you have a premiere, maybe I want to join it. Well, if YouTube's on sub me between then and now, you've lost that opportunity. You've lost a sub, and you've lost an opportunity for someone to see your content. It kind of sucks. Yeah, that's just the thing too. Like, if anyone actually wants to gain subscribers, I mean, I'm not talking Mama Bird because Mama has content, but anybody wants to gain subscribers in the meantime that, maybe down the road they want to start a channel or something, just put up one short. It doesn't have to be your face. You don't have to star in the video. I know that's not for everybody. Make a short of a sunset or with a little bit of music or something, and that gives people something to click on so that they can join and their sub sticks to your channel, right? Oh, you'll get there, PA. You've got some nice lives and stuff on your channel. Outfish Ontario. Good to see you, buddy. Did you get out fishing? This wind is nuts. We're car fishing today. Outfish is about 4.5, 5 hours west of me. PA, you make that short. That'll lose you subs, guaranteed. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, Anyfin's got problems on his channel with trying to do horizontal lives. It's kind of lame. YouTube's, not to speak bad of YouTube, but, YouTube's been around for a while. They should really have kind of this stuff sorted out. Speaking of YouTube glitches, my chat is frozen. There we go. Working on the truck outfish. Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta keep the vehicles running. Bob. Yes. YouTube is great. I mean, honestly, they do give us a platform, which is nice, and you can make a bit of pocket money off of it, which is also nice. It's just, never mind, YouTube's great. Oh yeah, it's right, Outfish. You were saying you were going to do some rust proofing. So Joseph, I put out probably the most random weird short you'll ever see on YouTube this morning. Just for that reason. I just want to see how well or how badly it does. Man, I'm going fishing tomorrow. The wind better not be this bad because I want to run a float for perch. Did I used to live under power lines? No idea what you're talking about. I'm more curious as to whether or not that'll just catch on, right? I'm just curious. I've had shorts that have done like crazy well for absolutely no reasons, and I have shorts like Joseph just said that. Well, I think we all have shorts that you put a ton of effort into and they go absolutely nowhere. And I know we've all got different tastes. I mean, some people even like Miracle Whip, but I look at my shorts and I try to think to myself, would I want to see it? Would I watch it when I make them? Hey, Melithian, good to see you, pal. Filming your cat's works. People love cats. You got that, John, right, John Bob. I caught a nice one the other day on my live. Or was it last? I can't remember when I caught it. It was within a week, anyways. And now that I know they're there, I got the fever to go catch a bunch more and get a mess of them to make up some perch rolls. I'm not a huge shorts. Like, I'll watch shorts from the folks that I'm sub to and that I want to support. Every once in a while, like if I go to bed and I'm not ready to fall asleep, I'll throw shorts on them and just kind of scroll through them. But they get annoying because eventually there's always a trend, right? So whether it's a latest song or mix a video with this stupid sound in it or what have you, it gets annoying because you'll hear like the same song in 20 shorts in a row. Which would really bother me if YouTube wasn't so awesome. Hey, Skeeter, let me get you a wrench, buddy. Good to see you, pal. Yeah, I'm the same way, Lewis. I like to, I mean, you say that, but I mean, I've released a lot of gold prospecting and pike fishing videos. But I like to, if that's stuff you're interested in, every piece of content that's, right, Rod. Is that just the wind? Probably. Caught my eye. It moved in the opposite direction, actually. Yeah, right, Ron. Bam! There we go. So the skunk is off the table at least, anyways. I'll take it. Yeah, tiny pike. Maybe 1.5 pounds. The old hammer handle snot rocket pike. Do we get big pike up here? We sure do. I'll be absolutely honest with you, Doug. This is not a lake where I go to when I want to catch the big guys. Normally the bite here is very good if the conditions are better. My personal best pike is somewhere in the mid-20s. But we do get them bigger than that. And in some places, like out on the river, I've seen them. But when I say mid-20s, I mean pounds, of course, not inches. But yeah, we get them pretty big up here. Are you in Scotland, Doug? I forgot to ask. I know you're across the pond somewhere. £18 is a nice pike. Yeah, Scotland has some huge pike too. And you guys have, it's really weird because here, it's very rare here to find pike and trout in the same lake. But that's not uncommon in the lochs in Scotland at all. But I will be perfectly honest with you. Hey, Roll Calls Cabin, good to see you, brother. Yeah, you guys get both together, Doug. That's awesome. Probably the best pike I've caught out of this particular lake is around 7-8 pounds, which is still a nice fish and a fantastic fight. I use, like you can see my rods when the wind comes up getting whipped around. Those are medium action rods with fast tips on them, so makes for a really good fight. It is fairly shallow. There is a deeper spot. You guys can't really make it out, but it'd be kind of in front of you guys and to the right, in behind the tip of that island that's there. Back there's a deeper spot where it gets to about 30 feet, but that's as deep as it goes. It's not it is a fairly shallow lake. Trout fishing's okay. I wouldn't say, I mean, I love all forms of fishing. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. I like it in the spring, tossing around a spinner. Yeah, Doug, it is. The only thing I guess I would say about the 30 feet is it's not a large portion of the lake, right? So there's maybe on this whole lake, maybe 3-4 square acres is that 30-foot depth, and it comes up. Most of it, I would say, is in the 10 to 12-foot range. But there is nothing but pike and, I mean, there's panfish in that, but as far as game fish, there's nothing but pike and bass in here. So you never know. I mean, if I pulled one out 8 pounds, anything is possible. Danny, good to see you, pal. You just missed it. We caught an enormous pike. I had a real struggle holding it up so everyone could see it, but I'm just kidding. We did catch a little hammer handle pike. So, Doug, I don't use Rapala in here. They are some of my favorite lures, although expensive, and they'll make you cry when you lose one. The only I tend to use spinner baits in here, and the reason is it's very, very weedy. So anything like a Rapala with a treble hook on it, you're just constantly getting stuck in the weeds and pulling weeds off your line. And Danny, yeah, I wouldn't do that to you. If you've ever seen a pike before, it was a small pike. The wind is starting to die down a little, which is nice. I just don't know that we're going to get calm enough to be able to use a bobber, which is what I really want to be doing right now. Yeah, so one lake over from this, Doug, I do fish muskie. They're very, very similar. Just much harder to catch, but they do get pretty big. Yeah, Lewis, I mean, back to housework. Good luck with that, Joseph. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like an honor to catch one. It's you just catching. They don't call them the fish of 10,000 casts for nothing. But they are difficult to catch for sure. Very picky. Oh, right rod. There we go. That's two we got. Hey, Zach, how's it going? All right. Maybe the bite should start heating up, actually. We are getting later in the day. That's two on the bank anyway. Nothing big, but still fun to catch. And I don't know how well you guys could make that out, but that little guy just bent that right rod right over. $72 lithium. You're making me jealous, buddy. Awesome, Jason. See you in a bit, pal. Yeah, same, Lewis. We're not supposed to get anything. I think Thursday we're supposed to get like an inch of snow or something, or less than an inch. Yeah, exactly, Lewis. The dusting of snow, that's all we're supposed to get. Yeah, I think it's, well, when I left the house, Lewis, it was 36 here. So, I mean, I'm sure it's starting to drop a little. We usually end the stream around last light, so like around 4:30 or so, 5 at the latest. And by then, I'd imagine it'll start to be below zero. I don't know where that is, Lewis. Mostly when I go to Maine for fishing, I go to Maine for fishing and gold prospecting. I'm in the Byron area, so like Coos Canyon and around there. I don't know how close that is, but it's not like how close Coos is to you, but that's not far for me. It's about 3 hours at most, driving creatively. Yeah, I'm Olivia, and it happens here with the first snow. People forget what snow's all about, and they drive like idiots, and there's all kind of accidents, and then we, us Canadians, just kind of all settle in for the winter. Yeah, so you would be actually closer to me, Lewis, than Coos Canyon. You're probably about 2.5 hours from me. Yeah, well, it doesn't kind of work that way, Lewis, because only because depends where I cross the border, right? Because I've got to head down the river, down to St. Lawrence, and depending on where I go, depends on which border crossing I have and which highways I use. I mean, I can be in New York in half an hour, Vermont in about an hour and a half. So, like, but that's heading to two different border crossings. Like, I think if I went to Coos Canyon in kind of an off-centered kind of way, I'd actually be passing past where I would head south towards where you are. Tell you one thing though, we get another one on that right rod. That left rod's coming in, and it's going further to the right of that one. There is a channel here that the pike like to cruise. I mean, I know those were only little guys, but there is a channel here where the pike like to cruise. And it could be that the right rod is landing in that channel perfectly, and the left rod is in the middle of a weed bed for all I know. You never really 100% know where your line ends up when you're casting into this chop. Although I will say the wind is starting to die down, which is really nice. Zach, part of the deal of the payment for said fish was you wouldn't mention them. So you owe me another one. They're working fantastic, buddy. Bam! How's it going, buddy? We're doing all right for the chop. We got 2 on the bank, so there is that. We're not breaking any size records for fish, but a fish is a fish, and it's still fun. And I'm sitting in the front seat of a Cadillac, so it's not exactly like it's been strenuous, to be honest with you. And there, you can see the wind has died down because you guys will see shortly the goose parade has started. Yeah, I'm luxury fishing, roll calls. It's like a little resort here. Come on, Lewis, I'm roughing it here. The car's not going. I don't want to waste the gas. I'm saving my pennies for a container of night crawlers for tomorrow to go perch fishing. It is beautiful out there, I will say that. Yeah, the poop parade, mama. Canada gooses dropping Canada deuces. Lewis, $5, you absolute legend. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. So I know you're fairly new to the channel. I don't know if gold prospecting is something that interests you, but for every dollar that anybody donates, it goes to a giveaway that we do. And every dollar is an entry to win a gold pay dirt from Troubled One, who was actually here in the chat earlier. Super relaxing hobby. Ernest is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Let me get you a wrench, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Our boy Ernest, nominated for Bank Angler of the Year, recovering from a heart attack and doing awesome. Fantastic attitude. You still got to link us where to vote on that, Ernest. Yeah, see, Ernest had his heart attack, and he was doing it was a short one. A short live directly from his hospital bed. And he just has a fantastic attitude about everything. And that is the way to recover, my friend. Look at these idiot geese. Oh, let's just go back the other way from where we came. For absolutely no reason other than we're idiots and we're geese. Yeah, it gets dark around 5, Joseph. $4:35, but when it decides it's getting dark, it just kind of falls on you. Kermudge in the house. Good to welcome, pal. Good to see you. We got 2 pike on the bank so far. Nothing huge, but still a fun little fight. Didn't think we were even going to get to fish today. The water was so choppy, and then it's kind of settled down a little bit. Not a lot, but still pretty windy out there. It is a nice spot, Ernest, definitely. Listen to these guys. See, they're going to start taking off now. As it starts to get dark, they take off and they go to the next lake over. All right, guys, I'm going to be right back. What I want to do is take that right rod and put it in the left rod holder, and take that left rod and cast it out to the right, because I haven't had any hits or bites coming from that area. And I think we might be sitting in a giant weed bed, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me rearrange some things, guys. I'll be right back. Beautiful sunset out there. Holy smokes. Careless in the house. Good to see you. It does sound like a goose attack, Lewis. Hey, Rod, good to see you, buddy. What kind of boat do I have? I've got a couple. Nothing big. I do have a pontoon boat up at my cabin. But usually around here, I run a little 14-foot aluminum with a 9-horse Merc on it. And for the St. Lawrence, I've got a John boat for duck hunting. You notice, Careless, you know damn well that if I thought for 1 second you broke your ankle, that I, as your friend, would be super concerned. But I've known Zaxxon now long enough. Everyone's either now it's breaking ankles. It used to be birthdays. I think maybe breaking ankles are the new birthdays, right? Hey, JD Jenny, welcome to the channel. It isn't a bad life at all, sitting in the front seat of the car watching my fishing rods and reeling in pike. We'll give you a wrench, Jenny, so you could connect around. Any friend of Maine Girls is a friend of mine. Maine Girls, awesome. All my PA folks are connecting. I got Annie Finn from PA and Skeeters from PA, and, well, obviously PA is from PA. Now JD Jenny's from PA. One nice thing about this setup is when daylight starts to fade, we can turn the headlights on and see our rod tips. Yeah, Kermudge has an awesome channel. Make sure you check him out. Him and his wife have a fantastic channel. Homesteaders and outdoors people. So JD Jenny, we are after pike. We've put 2 on the bank so far. In the last 20 minutes or so, 20 minutes, half an hour. And that's typically what happens when I come out at 2, is the bite is pretty slow. And then, the last hour and a half or so of daylight is when the pike like to cruise and eat, and the bite picks up. So hopefully we'll put a couple more on the bank. It is almost the witching hour. Correct. Yeah, Joseph, eels are a lot of fun to catch till you actually get them up to the shore. Then the rest after that absolutely sucks. And you don't want to catch one and bring it into your boat either, because you'll be constantly falling down all over it. They're evasive up there. I didn't know that, Kermudge. I've been up fishing in Alaska before, actually. And I was salmon, and I know pike was a secondary species. But and you guys have some monsters up there, but I didn't know they were evasive. They weren't a catch and kill back then, I'll tell you that much. Have a good one, GP. Nothing wrong with some snow. I don't know. I'm not a huge... I love the taste of crab meat. I just don't like all the work. Yeah, that eel slime gets all in your net. Hey, Blistering, good to see you, pal. That eel slime gets all in your net, and they're just terrible to handle when you get them in a boat. When you get them in a boat, what happens is they have all that slime. So what happens is it dries up, and if you're out fishing and it rains, it's like that slime comes back to life, and you end up slipping and sliding all over the place. Hey, Medley, how's it going, buddy? The wind's dying down pretty good. I'm going to give it a few more minutes, and maybe we can go outside for the end of this stream. I was standing out there for a minute and just enjoying that sunset when I went and rearranged the rods. So maybe we'll go out and enjoy it together. It's beautiful. Thanks, Blistering. It is gorgeous view. You're not ready, Careless, to go outside? Oh, for the snowstorm. Yeah, we're supposed to get some Thursday, but they're saying less than an inch. Of course, you know how that works around the lake effect, right? They can turn around and say less than an inch, and then the night before it turns into 5 or 10. I am ready, and that the snowblower's been out and started, and the generator's full of gas. So I got that going for me. A foot in Cleveland. I hadn't heard that. Oh, right rod. Right rod's going. Just another small hammer handle pike. Got that guy right up into the shore and he spit the hook and I almost took the sinker right between the lookers. But we got the fight out of him, so that was the best part. A&M Prospecting, good to see you, pal. I'll get you a wrench. Good to see you, man. But I'm counting it. He was right up on the bank in the weeds. If I would have had a net, I could have grabbed him pretty easy. But obviously on a live stream, it's always nice to be able to hold it up and show you guys. But just another hammer handle snot rocket pike. Yeah, anyway, I almost ate a 1 ounce sinker to the face there, but we're all good. It's a dangerous sport, this fishing, let me tell you. You got the prospector's fingers there, careless. Man, Ernest, I'm hoping for you too, pal. That's why every time I see you on stream, I ask you, you get the go-ahead yet? But at least now I know when it is. So I can stop asking and bothering you. Oh, the night lady's on under me? Cornbread and chili, right on. Anything, I guarantee you that's probably venison chili. And I probably guarantee you it's going to be good. I'm due to make a crock pot of venison chili. I don't make it with the ground venison. I make it with the cubes. Love venison chili. Charts, JP's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. No charts yet. We're out fishing, but there will be charts. Guaranteed. I'm actually going to be stopping to get some beers on the way home. And I was not smart enough to put anything in the crock pot today, so I think we're going to be smashing a rotisserie chicken tonight. We got 3 pike on the bank so far, JP. The wind out here was not as bad now, but it was crazy before. So we're actually... we got the phone in the car because no one would have been able to hear me otherwise. Oh, Joseph, crockpot's the cat's ass, man. I guess that doesn't make the crockpot sound appealing from a food perspective, but Best part about a crock pot is you could start your meal in the morning, then you go out fishing or prospecting or hunting, and you come home and it's ready for you. Oh, I'd smash that, Jenny. Absolutely. I think it'd be fine. I'd reheat it back up to where it was bubbling. Then I dig into that like nobody's business. Probably be even better than it would have been if you would have eaten it right away, to be honest with you. Crock pots is one of my favorite things to have, man. Pot roast, stew, chili. That reminds me, I got to toss anything that recipe, but I make a homemade apple crumble in the crock pot. That's awesome too. It's kind of funny. There's like a parking lot off to my left for the park, and this cop keeps pulling in, and I just guarantee he's like staring right at me. I mean, I could tell from 150 yards away. I could see his white face. I guarantee he's just a guy on shift that wants to watch me fish to kill some time. If he came close enough, I'd probably let him take over the left rod. Have a good one, Ernest. Appreciate you swinging by, pal. Take care, and we'll be meeting on YouTube again shortly, I'm sure. Might be a subscriber. I did actually, I didn't used to do this a lot, but I've started bringing stickers with me because a lot of the local kids, when I'm here at this spot near the park, like to come over, and this one cute little girl always wants to look in my minnow pail to see my minnows, which kind of sucks if I get a fish and I bring it in and there's my minnow with an 8/0 hook through it. But yeah, I've started bringing channel stickers with me. If the cop pulled me and came over and asked how I was doing, I'd just slip him a sticker. Not that that would probably get me out of anything, but I'm not doing anything wrong anyways. Not right now. Yeah, her and her brother, Careless, that little girl, she's the cutest little girl. I think they're Haitian. Very dark complexion, but she has like the tight braid. She's always got beautifully braided hair with the little baubles in it, and she's probably all of about 3 feet tall. Cute as a button. And her brother come to ask me how I'm doing, and they wish me luck. It's awesome. Yeah, most of them are, Lewis. I mean, I can't say I've never had any bad experiences, but I'm also not one of those people that will mouth somebody off just because they're a cop, because I think those people are usually pretty annoying. Mostly, Lewis, I will say, I mean, you being from the US wouldn't understand as much the Canadian thing around firearms. And as somebody who's a firearms owner, I have to have a special license. So when the police pull me over, and typically you're absolutely right. 99% of the time I have absolutely no problem with the police. But I had one guy that, he came up to the door to my car door with his hand on his gun, which you just don't do here in Canada. And then he was asking me, do you have any firearms in the car? And then he asked if he could search the trunk. And that's the only time I've ever really had a problem, and probably the only time I've ever told an officer, no, you can't search my car. There's no reason for him to ask that. And it was a routine traffic stop. But again, I mean, it's like anything, they are just people. I've gone into the bank and I've had absolutely horrible bank tellers before too, right? I've gone to the grocery store and had a crappy cashier. So yeah, there's going to be crappy cops. Just because it works both ways. Just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're an extraordinary person. I guess I would say with law enforcement officers, when you get a bad one, just because of the nature of what they do, it really, really stands out, right? You get a bad cashier, you just shrug it off and move on with your day. You get a bad cop and he makes your life, holds you up and goes out of his way to make your life miserable, then it's a really, really bad experience. Hey, Sean Little, good to see you. We are in the magic hour, or as Careless would say, the wishing hour. So since you're just swinging in, Sean, we do have 3 pike on the bank so far today. Yeah, anything. Cops are fantastic. YouTube is fantastic. And, I'd also like to go on the record to say that, I haven't had any issues with law enforcement officers, especially in regards to firearms, since I lost all mine in that tragic canoe flip of 2007. Those were tough times. It is a beautiful view, though, and I can see those poles awesome. Even on my phone screen, I can see those poles awesome. Oh, it was terrible, Vike. You and I. Oh, that canoe flip, man. Terrible. Terrible, terrible times. And if you ever have any troubles, Vike, you just get a hold of me and I'll be your alibi, or witness. Fishing Cooking with Jose. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. I would like to add that the auditors from the Canada Revenue Agency are also fantastic people, since we're on this topic. Yes, sir, Sean Little. We are fishing in style today. Enjoying this beautiful spot. I could not agree more, Jose. And when life throws you a moment like this, the beautiful sunset and a little bit of fishing, you got to really enjoy it. Yes. There are mag limits up here, Vike fishing. I used to follow them very strictly when I had firearms before I lost them in the canoe accident. On semi-automatics, and that's rifles, I believe it's 10. Jose, it is cold here. It is, I don't know exactly where you're from. So in Celsius, it is right about 0. It's right about the freezing point, I guess, regardless of where you're from. Right about that freezing point. I agree, Bob. In fact, now that I don't have firearms anymore, I just typically go run over, and I don't even have a cartridge. I just have the bullet, and I just run over and shove it in the deer. I find that works very well for me. Hey, Chloe. Good to see you. You got 3 on the bank. Looking for number 4. It's a race between the next fish and the sunset. Yeah, they're going down deep. The bass in that, Jose, are going down deep right now too. And they're very lethargic, so you almost have to land your minnow right in front of their face. But the pike are still the pike will cruise around all year long. Thank you, Chloe. It is beautiful. Listen to me saying thank you as if I made the sunset. Bam! Bam! But you guys can see those rod tips moving. It is still pretty windy out there for this time of day. Hey, Tom, welcome in. It is very pretty out there. We've got 3 fish on the bank, which is not bad. We're fighting off some pretty bad, nasty, windy weather. Normally, the pike like to cruise near the surface this time of year. So normally I like to use a bobber, use a float. But with this wind, you cast a float out. If you can get it more than 20 feet offshore, it's back on shore 10 seconds later. So we're just dealing with what we got, and we managed to land 3, so I'm happy with that. Oh, you're welcome, Jenny. Yeah, Chloe, I'm live pretty much, in one capacity or another every Sunday. I do gold prospecting and gold panning and stuff as well. And sometimes I pop up during the week. You never know if the mood strikes me. I think I was live once earlier this week, just for the heck of it. No worries, Chloe. So you're talking, Tom. Here, Tom, if you like fishing, I'm going to give you, I give out wrenches just so you can connect around. Any Finnish possibles in here as well, and Fishing Cooking with Jose. A lot of good fishing channels in here. Yeah, panning's awesome, Doug. Very relaxing. Prospecting as well. Lots of prospecting videos on my channel. Yeah, Tom. So I'm assuming you're talking chain pickerel. So they're the same family. In fact, other than the pattern on the side and they have that vertical line around the eyeball. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between a chain pickerel and a pike. Of the same size, obviously. Pima tuning. Can't say as I have, Jenny. Thanks, Lewis. Any friend of Lewis's is a friend of mine. No worries, Tom. Hey, Luke, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Epic VR, good to see you as well, buddy. Yeah, Jenny, that must be tough, but I could tell you, I taught my kids from a young age to be outdoors, and my youngest, I'm a single dad as well. My youngest really took to it. My oldest is more, he likes to go out every once in a while on his terms, but either way, it taught both of them an appreciation for nature, and anytime they spend doing it, at least they're not hooked to a screen, right? That's true. That's true. Like, I mean, see, that's a tough thing. Like, it's such a different age, Jenny. Like, I get my oldest is 20 now, so it's kind of one of those deals where all his friends are online, and that's where they all get together and they hang out. So it's more than just gaming. Like, there's a social aspect to it, which I understand. So I just really try to encourage my kids to strike that balance, right? Yeah, Tom, I grew up as a kid at the creek catching frogs all day, and I've never had they are fantastic bait. I've just never had the heart to stick a hook through one. Minnows, on the other hand, well, no quarter for minnows. But yeah, Jenny, I mean, if you can stick a hook through a minnow and tie a bobber on a line, or clip a bobber on a line and throw that out there, and then you just get to sit and relax and enjoy it. It takes a lot of the frustration out of it for kids. And then as they take off and they get older, and that's the one thing about YouTube, having things like YouTube that I didn't have when I was a kid is, if you don't know how to tie a fishing knot, I guarantee you there's somewhere out there on YouTube where they tell you how to tie a basic fishing knot and stuff like that. Anything. Yeah, I know. I can't do it. Although I did buy last year, um, I did buy a Senko rig kit with the rubber bands. So I'm thinking if I applied the same principle to a frog and rubber banded it to a hook, um, then if he loses his life out there to a bass, it's just nature taking its course. It had nothing to do with me whatsoever, of course. Yeah, buzz baits are awesome especially in the summer. And I love buzz baits so much I can't help myself. So even over the last month or so, now that even though the fish are now feeding deeper and they're not feeding topwater, when I see a mirror like finish on a lake, I can't help myself but at least toss a buzz bait out a few times, see if anything's gonna take it. In fact, I'm sitting here, I got a buzz bait right to my right in the console of the car as we speak. which is, of course, tangling itself up in my phone cords. There you go. Yeah, I'm right-handed by nature, but I fish left. I actually own, and it's very hard to find them, a left-handed bait caster. I actually ordered it specifically because I can't stand reeling with my right hand. Fly fishing is both an art and an exercise in frustration. I've never done much fly fishing. In fact, if someone asked me, have you ever really fly fished, I would probably say no, even though I have tried it. I just don't have the spots where you have that open. There's no trout near me. I have to drive to get trout. And even then, I don't typically, without putting waders on, have the spots where I can get that back cast going. Tiny mouth parts, absolutely. Very difficult to catch a fly. Fly fishing for pike I've seen it done. That interests me with streamer flies. Bass catching cooks. Where's Justin when you need him? I think he went live today. So, Jenny, in your particular situation, without going, I would strongly suggest that you connect over to Anyfin as possible. He's got some fantastic fishing tips, lots of videos where he fishes with his kids. His youngest boy, Kevin, is kind of impressive, if I'm being honest. I wish my youngest is getting there. But he's a fantastic net man. He loves his fishing, loves his micro fishing and multi-species stuff, and strongly suggest you connect over to Finn. There you go, Jenny. You have time with your son, take a look around in Bob's channel. It's fantastic. No worries, Bob. So I'll be leaving here, putting a bit of gas in the car, picking up some nice cold adult beverages, and treating myself to a ridiculously expensive container of night crawlers. I'll actually be fishing with Bob on his channel tomorrow. We are hoping to fill a stringer with perch tomorrow. Kids do teach you everything you forgot. And everything you forgot to remember. Yeah, I remember when I used to have this trouble or that trouble or... Kev's out tomorrow? Oh, yeah, it's Thanksgiving. Right on. That's awesome. We're going to head to Pikosaurus Lake tomorrow and hopefully toss a bobber rig out. And then I've got the ultralight set up with a slip bobber for perch. So I caught that one nice perch there on a minnow last week. And it kind of gave me the hankering to fill a stringer with them. Trout and carp tomorrow. I know exactly where you're going. Go hang out with the geese in the park narc. Oh, probably about 20 minutes left, Vike. I mean, I'm just really enjoying this skyline, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, the sunset's always nice on my lives, but I pay a price for it. So I am constantly fishing the east bank of the lake, no matter which lake I go to, in a west wind. So you're facing west where the sun sets all the time. But the price I pay for it is getting blown out by the wind half the time. But I think it's worth it. It's actually not terrible. It does look a little brighter. I'm looking on my phone as well. It does look a little brighter than it probably would for you guys, but it's not terrible. I mean, I can make my rod tips out obviously just fine looking through the windshields. If that doesn't scream luxury fishing, I don't know what does. That's awesome, Anyfin. Our schools here don't teach you anything practical. Except for, I guess, if you go to Butcher's College. That's a good sized perch, Doug. Typically here for keepers, I look in the 8-inch plus range. Enough to make a cut, get enough on a stringer to make a couple nice fish rolls. Yeah, Doug, those are yellow perch. That's what we have here as well. It's crazy though, this time of night with the sun setting like that how choppy the lake still is. Yeah, it's really windy, Jenny. That's actually why we're in the car. Typically, I do my lives from outside and I sit on my minnow bucket and read chat. And you can see my ugly mug in the picture with the scenery behind me. But um, today just didn't have that in store for us with all that wind. You make those geese flying around in a tornado out there almost. They usually take off this time of night, and some will re-roost back here, and some head west to the next lake over. I've never caught a snakehead. Where did you have one on, Bob? Was it at that spillway that you guys fish? Where you fished with your buddy Don and his son? Typically, I've heard that's kind of the places they like to hang out. Places that are narrow with a little bit of current to them. Ah, Murica. Pew, pew, pew. Thank you so much for stopping by, Jenny. I appreciate it. It is getting that time of night. We're on for about another 10, 12 minutes. As always, just hoping for that one last takedown, right? Yeah, I think Justin started maybe a little even earlier than I was, if I believe. Justin is awesome. Yeah, bow fishing is fun. I used to, he actually used to have a boat that was set up for bow fishing with the big deck on the front. But it's one of those things that kind of got old. I'd rather catch them on a rod and reel, but I used to have a neighbor that had like this massive, massive garden. I want to say the thing was almost an acre in size. And she used to like it when I went out bow fishing for carp, and I'd bring them back, and she'd use them as fertilizer in her garden. Hey, Skeeter, welcome back, buddy. We're actually just winding down. We put 3 on the bank today. Nothing big. Have a good one, Bob. See you tomorrow, buddy. Not that kind of garden, Tom. Careless, man. You're gonna get out prospecting. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's getting kind of cold for me to prospect up here too, so I won't argue with you. Have a good one, Doug. Thanks so much for swinging by. I appreciate you, buddy. It's good seeing you again. Been a while since I saw you, I believe, over on Stewart's. Like I said, we've only got about 8-9 minutes left, and then we're going to call it ourselves. Just hoping for that one last takedown at sunset. I mean, I kind of agree with you, Vike, but if you do things like prospecting or things where you kind of need, the problem with prospecting in the icy cold weather that I find, and that's what I struggle with. I stay warm for the most part, but my feet are kind of my weakness. The problem is if you do something like prospecting where you have to shovel and dig and move, what kills you is when you get warm and then you sweat and then you sit still and then you're cold. That's what kills me anyway. Yeah, for sure, Lewis. Lewis, if you haven't left yet, go ahead. You can go ahead and post a link to Justin. I'll be winding down anyway, and I'll probably join you guys over there. Oh, Justin just finished, Julie? And everyone's saying, oh, boy. Yeah, we're kind of winding down at the same time. I'm losing daylight, too. I got another 10 minutes left and hoping for that last takedown. Justin's on the way home. I bet Julie can almost hear him now. We ended up with 3, Julie. 3 pike on the bank. Nothing fantastic. All in the 1.5, 2 pound range. The bigger ones are out cruising near the surface, but it's been so windy I can't use a bobber to head out after them. So we're stuck on a sinker rig. So we're getting what we get, and I've been happy with it. There you go, Julie. Yeah, I can't say any of that bothers me that badly. I mean, I'm in the car and I haven't been running the heater for 3 hours, and I've got the one window open so I don't get condensation on the windshield from being in here. And my nose is probably red, but that's about it. Hey, Pickles. Oh, awesome, Lewis. How did Justin make out? Julie, did he do well? Congrats, PA. Good for you, buddy. I used to go down to Ohio for work, and I didn't mind it actually. Mind you, the spot that I was going to, the factory or the warehouse, was like way out in the middle of nowhere in Zanesville, so it wasn't like in the city or anything like that, or anywhere near a city. 3 beers. Ooh. Hey, Fort, good to see you, pal. We're actually wrapping it up in about 5 minutes. We're losing daylight, but good to see you, man. Yeah, it's getting pretty dark here. Jay Fishing, how's it going, buddy? Not too bad, Jay Fishing. We managed to bank 3 today. Not a stellar day, but it's been crazy windy. That's why we're inside the car. We've been inside the car because you guys wouldn't have been able to hear me all stream with the wind. But yeah, it's been an enjoyable couple hours. I mean, 1 fish per hour is not exactly going to set any records for me, but again, still fun. The alternative, I guess, is sitting on the couch watching someone else have fun. So definitely better than a skunk. But hey, touch wood, I've never been skunked on a live, but it's bound to happen sooner or later. Alaskan Assassin in the house. Good to see you, Paul. It's kind of neat. I'll show you guys before we end off. The park is to my left, and all the phone poles on the soccer fields and stuff, and all the Christmas trees. They've already put all the lights up, so everything's all lit up right now. You guys probably didn't notice, but I'm parked underneath a street lamp that's on. Yeah, we're in the Cadillac boat. It is indeed a boat. Yeah, the view's pretty cool. No complaints here, Jason. It was 2-3 weeks ago I did a live from here, and it had that same beautiful sky, but it was much warmer. And I actually ended up when I shut the stream down, I went in the trunk of the car and grabbed a beer, and I just sat on my minnow bucket and sat here just staring at the sky and enjoying it. But I won't be sitting out on a minnow bucket tonight. It's a little bit cold. Some bagpipes, she says. Let's see what we can do here. We can certainly give you guys some bagpipes on the outro. No, Tom. It's going to be a nice casual. I got to get up early. I'm fishing tomorrow on Anyfence channel, so I get up early, check all my minnow traps and all that good stuff. Get the chickens fed, put my long underwear on. Yeah, Tom, I like every occasionally. I mean, it isn't that cold, and I'm not that cold. I've been in the car, obviously, but I really enjoy a nice glass of brandy and a good cigar after fishing. That's kind of my jam. All right, so let's see here. I'll show you guys that. Let me get you down off the tripod here. There we go. All right, so here, let me turn the ignition on. Christmas music playing already. So there's they've actually lit the whole park up for Christmas. So those are all the lights and the poles for the soccer field over there, and the trees are lit up. And Clark W. Griswold's house is in between those two poles in the middle there. All right, so let's see. Put this interior light on so I can see what I'm doing here. All right, guys, so I appreciate everybody swinging by. It's actually been a really fun time just chatting with everyone. We did manage to haul in 3 pike in these nasty conditions. So we're down here. There's the old radio CD cassette player. And just for careless, I don't think this stuff is copyright protected. It's kind of slow. It's not what I was looking for. How do I change the track on this one? There we go. Nothing wrong with the little pipes. Of course, that's just drums. There we go. Good times. So, all right, guys, let me flip you around for a second so I can say goodbye. That was some tunes. All right, legends. Really appreciate everyone coming and hanging out. Wasn't the most productive fishing day, but beautiful sunset, and I just got copyrighted in Scotland, but that's okay. I had a great time hanging with everybody. As always, fantastic community, fantastic people. Hope everyone had a chance to look to connect around to some of the awesome channels that are out there. But who's next? I have no idea, Joseph. I don't know if PA's got a show tonight or what's going on. I didn't look. Been a day, been busy. But again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on our next fishing or prospecting adventure, guys. Cheers, peace out. Take care of yourselves.